Greetings, my beautiful vibration lifters. Just imagine living in a world where we are not the only species in the universe. Just imagine living in a world where human civilization is much, much older than our history books say. Just imagine living in a world where technology is possessed in ancient times that we cannot create today. That in ancient times, our technology far surpassed what we have today. Well, guess what? We are living in those times. You might want to skip this video if you don't want your paradigm to be shattered. If you want to stay firmly rooted in the matrix. You believe wholeheartedly in your government and what they tell you. You believe wholeheartedly in what the school systems have taught you. If you firmly believe this, then you might want to skip this video, or you might want to listen in order to criticize this video. But I'm here to tell you, we have been lied to. I started having questions about what I was told when back in the early 90s, when my friend gave me a book called Behold the Pale Horse. That book sent me down a rabbit hole. It had me investigating and questioning a lot of what I started seeing in the media, primarily in the media and in school. But they always gave us a little glimmer of the machinations of the state with books like 1984, Animal Farm. Things like that started seeding in my mind like, how come they don't do this again? How come this isn't happening again? Why do they want me to be so allegiant to this state? Now, let me preface this by saying that I am very grateful for this country. I'm very grateful for all the people, my father, my sister. They are service people. My sister in the Air Force, she went to Iraq and Afghanistan. My father in the Army, he was a sergeant. And I grew up really loving Captain America and fighter jets and 4th of July. And America runs through my blood, is who I am. That is my culture. At the same time, I feel like it is very American to question what we've been taught. And I'm here to tell you that now I have transcended the label of American. I am a human I'm a spirit having a human experience. I'm not bound by any border. Still, America is my family. So I love them. I love America. This is who I am. I exude it through the way I speak and through my actions. But I realize that this is just a stop on the long road. So after I began reading and opening my mind to different possibilities, I started having these things come into my sphere of influence. People like Drunvalo Melchizedek, Stephen Greer, Christian Baines with The Secret Science. People that started to shift my paradigm. And a few of the things that they shifted for me was the realization that there are plenty of intelligent civilizations in the universe. This was a shattering realization for me because I was brought up to believe that you cannot travel faster than the speed of light. The closer you get to the speed of light, the larger your mass gets. And once you reach the speed of light, then you reach infinite mass. And there's no way to move infinite mass, not in our understanding of Newtonian physics. So that's a big problem because the closest solar system, the closest galaxy to us, I believe, is Andromeda. And that is, I don't know exactly, but it's many light years away from here. And a light year is the amount of time it takes for light to travel in 1 year. The distance light travels in 1 year. So, being as it may that we couldn't postulate traveling further or faster than the speed of light, then the nearest galaxy was just completely out of reach. Not to mention other bodies in our solar system were probably out of reach. And I just accepted that as the truth and realized how rare life is and thought that is what it is. We're alone. It wasn't until I saw some documentaries that sent me to study other things. And so I'm going to give you some things to look up yourself, but the paradigm has shifted. There is the technology to travel to star systems. Einstein postulated that before he passed away with the Einstein-Rosen bridge. Before, the quickest route between 2 points is a straight line. But then they postulated that no, if you can, space-time is a fabric that you can bend, and then you can create a hole. And so these 2 points on either side could bend and come together, and then that creates a wormhole, an Einstein-Rosen bridge. And theoretically, you can travel vast distances in an instant. Also, the speed of sound is about 740 miles an hour if you're traveling in an airplane. Now, the speed of light, I can't remember, 156,000 miles per second. Imagine now that your thought has a speed. How fast is that? Just imagine if you ever have been to a foreign country. The minute that you think of that country, you're there. It's an instant. The speed of thought. So you can postulate that things can travel faster than light, even though it seems that in our theoretical or Newtonian physics that there is a speed limit in the universe and it's light speed, but I postulate that there is the speed of thought. Ancient times, many different civilizations have talked about star families coming down and helping us with our civilizations. The Sumerians, the very first written language, the cuneiform, talks about those from heaven to earth that came and gave us civilization. You can look at the mysteries and the civilizations in the Mesoamerica and North America and all over the continent of Africa, Europe. They all have stories of star family. The Dogon is a very interesting story. The Dogon are a tribe in Mali, Africa, and they have an interesting and beautiful ceremony every 50 years to commemorate the cycle of the dog star, Sirius B. They have been celebrating this for thousands of years. They even have intricate tools that shows how Sirius B rotates. And it wasn't until the 70s that modern science was able to have a telescope powerful enough to realize that the Dogon all along were telling the truth, that they knew that Sirius B was an actual star in the Sirius system. And how did the Dogon get this information? Well, they say it was brought to them from their family that came from the Sirius B star system. Then you look at the Vimanika Shastra and the intricate plans that were given to the people in India about how their star people traveled here. Then you look in the Bible in Ezekiel on the wheel within wheels. Then you go and you look at the civilizations and the stories in the Bible and how those stories are probably, a lot of them, come from civilizations that were more advanced than us that we deified. From individuals that had come from a higher technological civilization that came here and wanted to be deified. Then we learn that the pyramids are much older than what they say they were, and they weren't built by Khufu, but they're much, much older. Do you notice how the oldest pyramid, the pyramids of Giza, the great pyramids, are still standing, but the later ones, the ones that aren't as old, are crumbling? Somewhere along the line, we lost the technology. You know, they have never found a dead body in the pyramid, yet the narrative that the pyramids are sarcophagus, are the burial places of the royalty, still perpetuates. Sure, they use some pyramids for that, but the main pyramids of Giza, they were not funeral parlors. They were more like machines. They had shafts that pointed to Sirius star system. If you look at the pyramids from above, they mirror exactly the belt of Orion. The pyramids are lined up perfect north. The top of the pyramid, the stones are older than the stones on the bottom of the pyramid. The stones are so large, if their hypothesis of using ramps and slaves to pull the stones to the top, the ramp would have to be enormous. The story they're telling you is not true. The technology is lost, but most likely they used sonic technology. They used sound to levitate. During that time, they also had light, a lighting system, a wireless lighting system, a Tesla coil, basically. What Tesla had rediscovered was what the ancient Egyptians had been using. The 3 pyramids were a power plant. To this day, we wouldn't be able to recreate what they made. And I do believe we had help from higher civilizations. Then the mystery schools came about. Before, in pre-dynastic Egypt, the pharaoh was connected to a deity. It was like the Dalai Lama, where you would have to be the ruler, the leader was also connected to a spiritual way of being. A pharaoh was like a Dalai Lama. Until the pharaohs became kings and their sons became the next pharaoh in line. But during that time, it was very important that you be initiated before you were able to know the secrets of the universe and before you're able to communicate with the higher civilizations. There came a time when the ancient pharaohs left, and that's where you get the lineage from the Dogon leaving from ancient Egypt. And then other people came and started taking over the Egyptian civilization. And that's where you see those newer pyramids that are crumbling now. Robert Schoch, he went and saw the Sphinx and noticed that there was water weathering on the Sphinx. And that indicated to him that the last time there was water at that level was before the last ice age, so 10,000 years. He postulates that the Sphinx is at least 10,000 years old, at the very least. And our history books say, what, 4,000 years? We've been lied to over and over again. We're continued to be lied to, that perpetuate a lie, and we buy into it. I'm here to tell you that we are not yet ready to enter the galactic family. because we are still hung up on silly things like judging people by the color of their skin or burning fossil fuels to go to the moon. When the civilizations have already given us the technology to go to other systems using anti-gravity propulsion. I believe it was one of the engineers at Lockheed that says we have the technology to bring ET back home. Because things like Roswell really did happen. And we have been reverse engineering UFO craft since then, probably before then, but at least since then. And there has been a clandestine plan, a clandestine operation, a secret space operation that has very advanced technology. Yes, this is going to shatter your paradigm, or you're going to think I'm crazy, but please do your research. Do your research. Look up Billy Carson, Stephen Greer, Tony Rod Riggs, Corey Good, even though I've heard some compromising things about some of these individuals, but you can start there. Read Drumville and Melchizedek's book. Listen to Wendell Stevens' testimonies. There is a lot of information out there, and it will shatter your paradigm because people en masse still believe that we are here alone, that we are the highest civilization that's ever existed on Earth. Another one is that spirits are real. The spirit world is more real than this world. Yes, there are hauntings, that's real. I know you think I'm really crazy now, but please do your research. There's so much evidence out there now. And do you think that is a intricate hoax that all these people are trying to pull the wool over your eyes? Maybe. But I've talked to too many people that have had the real experiences that cannot be denied. Kids that are born having memories of their past lives. All this is real. Please realize that your paradigm has been created to keep you enslaved. It has been created to keep you away from the truth and from your own power. Do not believe what you hear on the news. The whole reason that the news exists is to keep you in fear. Everything that they say is fear-based. You might as well call it. I used to be a journalist, and I was interviewing Dilated Peoples. They're a hip-hop group from Los Angeles. And I was talking to Raka, and he said something that was really interesting. He said, you might as well call it the bad news, because that's all it is. And it's true. Maybe do they ever tell you a story about the cat that was rescued from a tree? Maybe they'll give you a little silly story like that. But there's beautiful things that are happening on the earth all the time, every moment. People are waking up all over the world. New technologies are coming out. Even though they're suppressing technologies, we are getting downloads, and we are coming out with our own technology. The Hutchinson effect, this rogue scientist has created anti-gravity in his house, in his living room. There was the Mendeleev motor, the magnetic motor. It's time for us to wake up. Look up. Also, the movie Thrive is an important movie to watch. And The Psychic Children. I'm giving you little pieces of things that have helped me along my journey to show me that I've been lied to. I hope you hear what I'm saying. It's going to shake your paradigm. And you're going to think I'm crazy. but I encourage you to do the research. It is true. We have been lied to. The power is yours. The whole reason they're lying to you because they know how powerful you are. The powers that were realize that you have the power to change everything. Yes, you. It starts with you. And the time is now. It is why you're hearing this video. It is why there's so many people like me who are speaking. People like Infinite Waters, who, much respect to Infinite Waters. And Billy Carson, much respect, Billy Carson. Drumvilla Melchizedek, much respect. He's helped me along my journey with the Macabre meditation. There's so many others. Prince Iya. You all know. Put some down in the comments so I know. Next Level Soul with his podcast and the amazing people, the near-death experiences. And I tend to interview a lot of people who have had near-death experiences because it's amazing what they come back, the information that is coming from these people. We are at the precipice of a golden age. You can free yourself. It is not as bad as it seems. You're not going to die and go to hell if you don't say a prayer. All souls are on their way to heaven. All souls are playing a role here. There's not a God sitting in the sky judging you for drinking a soda and then throwing it on the freeway. And you're going to hell for that. Or think of the most egregious thing. Think of Hitler. On the other side, when Hitler goes to the other side, sure, he might have to come back and pay the karmic debt of what he's done. But I say to you that Hitler's playing a role, and he was a catalyst for a lot of people having the experience that they wanted to have. When he comes back next time, he'll probably be the persecuted. But our lives and our souls are eternal. And the reason that our souls come here is to have an experience. It is time for us to stop judging, to look within, just to realize the amazing universe that lies within. It starts with love. Love is the key. Love is the way home. 30-day I Love You Challenge. We're on day 24 now, I believe. I want to thank you for letting me talk to you and deliver this message. I'm coming out. I'm coming out of the spiritual closet. All these things I've been studying for over 30 years now. All these insights that a lot of us have had when we first came to this planet. As a young child, we had awarenesses that were different from our parents. I remember telling my sister when I was about 10 years old that you are in charge of your happiness. I'm in charge of my happiness. And I remember that concept being such a great revelation to me and realizing like, whoa, that's really cool. Much love. We will see you next time. I love you. I appreciate you. Shaka to your mother, cause nothing but a brother.